music influences from many different, different genres.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure, like definitely in the definitely hip hop is pulling from other genres more in terms of sampling and so forth. I also think that the walls are breaking down between genres. It was something where for a while we had this notion that obviously the site the concept was originally called Rap Genius, and so we originally thought, let's take the concept that worked for Rap Genius and expand it to other sites, other apps that also are named for the genre that they're trying to dissect and discuss. And so we had Rap Genius, Rock Genius, Pop Genius, R&B Genius, Country Genius. We had all these ideas, and while it certainly makes some sense to have some categorization, we ended up deciding just to put it all under the Genius banner, because ultimately it's all it's all mixed up. It's all the same, the expression of the same sort of ideas and thoughts. And so, definitely that's affected our product decisions, and I see that continuing to do that.
What about the visual element? Because as the music, you're talking about Soundwall, but also too, like, as we listen to our music a lot of times now on our phones, the video's better, the capacity is better, the battery life on the phones is better, the signals are better, all of that. So you're watching the video as you're actually listening to the song. Is that changing what music we like? Anybody?
Yeah, the visuals are extremely important, and how you present. And excuse me, because I don't have the numbers or facts to back this up, but I would venture to guess, there's these studies about how much time we spend in front of the screen, and maybe 20 years ago that mostly meant TV. I would venture to guess that in 2015, this generation, we're in front of a screen more than the generation before us, because that phone is a screen. Like, I'm addicted to my phone. I'll be honest. Like, my phone is in my hand. If I'm up 18 hours in the day,
it's in your bed.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So we want more, you know what I'm saying? Not just the music, not what we hear, but what we see. And not only what we can see, what we can press, and where that click is going to take us, and the cyclical. So presentation and the way things look visually is extremely important. And if the visuals ain't on point, like, you might as well just pack it up and go home.
Let me ask our audience here, just for a show of hands. How many of you have seen a music video and that made you or you saw a clip of a video and that made you want to hear and find out about the whole song, or listen to the whole song? That you saw the visual first, you saw the artist first. Wow.
I mean,
that's a lot.
I think, Bobby is a great example of that. That song really broke from Vine, another social media platform, because people were Vining him doing the shmoney dance, the shmurda dance, and everybody's like, well, what is this? So that made people go on YouTube and really search and discover the video more. And that video probably didn't even cost $1,000 compared to some of the huge big budget videos that a lot of artists and labels are shooting. That video was super cheap. It was done by a kid named Main Fetty from Bobby's neighborhood. It was done in a day, and it was just released. And it recently just became Vivo certified, over 100 million views today.
Ooh, wow. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I think, because of the stuff that y'all are talking about and everyone's experiencing, it's there's some interesting opportunities that I think are being created. So one example of this is that if you open Spotify or Apple Music or Pandora, any music streaming app, and you play a song and look at the view that you see when you play the song, it's a picture of the album art or the single art. And that's it. That's all you see, compared to what you can experience with a music video or lyric videos on YouTube, etc. And so I think there's a tremendous opportunity to take that static display of just the album art that is universal and change that into something more dynamic, more visually appealing. And so I'm interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think is really important is that we've had all of these media the whole time, other than when we add new ones like video. I mean, I think that what's going on at Genius is that there's been a tremendous emphasis that is now scaled massively to caring about the written word. It is prose. Things are written out. You can read. So it turns out reading's not going away, right? Like, that actually matters. And I think what's going on back here is that not everything has to be glass, or I'm not going to have a company because there's no glass there, right? So maybe it matters that the static image, which we've had, by the way, for 40,000 years since the human species started drawing on walls, is still going to be a part of our culture. So I think all of these things are constantly coalescing, but they all still matter. I can tell you that at a YouTube moment, when Tom was creating the company, people would have never bet that like the written word and the annotation of that written word could like find an audience in the millions. They just wouldn't have thought that. And here we are.
But it's all about it's about the words.
Yeah, like when you look into hip hop, and again, Genius represents other genres as well, but was rooted in hip hop, the seed of the idea. There's no music out there more lyrical than hip hop. We put as many words into a bar as we can, and we obsess over it. We rap it. We argue about lyrics. And listen, I don't care whether it's Nas and you're trying to figure out what he meant when he said sleep is the cousin of death, or if you're trying to figure out what the hell Young Thug was saying on About the Money.
Does anybody know?
Busting in the bando, and then after that.
Well, you know what we said about that? We didn't have to worry about bleeping that for radio because nobody knew what he was saying anyway.
But and a site like Genius, like we laugh, but I want to know what he says, and for a site like Genius, which is there's a community behind it that one transcribes these lyrics and argues if one word is wrong, somebody else will come in, now you got to change that word. I want to know what he says, and 20 years from now, that record, the record of what he said and what he meant by Itty Bitty Strip Dips, which I still don't know, but we gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be up there for your kids to see what Young Thug was talking about.
Definitely. LaTrice, what about the written word for the artist?
I think it's awesome. I have a good example of this in a Genius situation. So getting ready for DS2, the album, and we're trying to collect all of the lyrics for the standard and the deluxe version of the album. The deluxe version has like 17 tracks. So usually the lyrics are transcribed by someone in A&R, the artist, someone on the artist team will do them and send them over, but they still have to be triple checked. So in a fast moment, we were in the process of doing that because we were still getting like all of the music delivered in house and going through the clearance process and all that stuff. And I called Future's manager and I'm like, yo, do you have lyrics for Real Sisters? And I'm like, I need them. I can do them myself right now, but I have like a ton of meetings. Like, please, help. He's like, well, just go to Genius. They always get it right. So to me, it's so refreshing because how many times have you guys gone on like lyric sites and see lyrics that are wrong, and for a fact that's not what they're saying. So to just have a platform out there where the lyrics are right and it's annotated, it's a better user experience.
No, and you're raising the point about authenticity. I see it on the news side. It's just there's things that get repeated and people think they're facts and then they get repeated, but also for music authenticity, the lyrics is very important.
Yeah.
And again, it's collaborative. That's why it's working. Because lots of people are doing it as opposed to one.
I'm gonna show you some collaboration, Patrice. We need to work together then, man. We can be a resource, like, the whole roster. Let's do it.
Too, but now we have Yo Gotti coming. We have a bunch of stuff coming. So.
Look, see, collaboration. Y'all see, y'all like how that works?
10%.